What's up, YouTubers? It's your girl Shannon from EV and Chill, and y'all know by now we have owned the Green Lantern for a hot minute. The EV6, it's become a very well-loved vehicle in our family, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. Now we're going to talk about things that I really come to love about this vehicle, and truthfully, when we bought the EV6, I kind of knew there were going to be some features that I would love automatically, but some things I've kind of come to love since owning it. And I'm also going to share with you, I'm not going to say things that I hate because that sounds really dramatic, but maybe some improvements that Kia could make with this vehicle. Now, before we jump in and we start talking about things we love and things that could be improved upon, I need to share with you a somber life update. The Kia EV6 has had its first boo-boo. Now I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking Shan, what did you hit? It was not me. This was not me. Okay, what had happened was Mama needed to get some Pinot Grigio, so pulled into the package store. And do all states say package stores? I know it's a Rhode Island thing, but one time I was in the South and I was like, where's your package store? And they thought I was talking about UPS, so a liquor store. Pulled in to get some juice, and this is what happened when I came out. Look at this, right here. Do you see this? Right there. That's what's up. Back rear door, damaged. Okay, so thankfully, of course, we do have the wrap on it. So I do think that, of course, that did provide a lot of protection because you should always use protection. So what I am gonna do in one of our future videos, we're gonna take the wrap off this door panel. We're gonna check out the damage. We're gonna see how bad it is. If it did do any damage to the actual paint itself, we'll be able to see that. And then we're gonna reapply some more wrap. That way it'll look like it never happened. But people, if you ding a door, have some pride, have some RESPCT, tell the other driver because this is #rude. Okay, so now that we have this taken care of, it's not really taken care of, but now that we've talked about it, let's talk about things that I love about the Kia EV6. Now, because I drive, I spend a lot of time in the driver's seat. First, let's start there. And this is something I knew was gonna be a safety feature here, but I love this. This might be, I don't know if it's the #1 thing I love, but I love it. Let's take a look. Okay, this is the blind spot camera system here. Take a look. Okay, so anytime I put on my turn signal, hello, we have these little circles that pop up and we can see everything that is on the side of the car. And this camera system, this thing is pretty legit. Now, truthfully, of course, we always want safety first. So if I'm driving and I need to change lanes or merge lanes, of course, I'm gonna look over my shoulder, check to make sure it's clear. But this provides just a little bit of redundancy, a little bit of extra reassurance that we're in the clear. You can take a look here if I put the turn signal on. Look at my fingers, hello. Okay, so a little bit of just extra reassurance. And okay, real world application, we actually fully relied on this, and I don't know if it's safe to say that, but when we were moving from DC to Rhode Island, we had the EV6 loaded down. This mother was stuffed. There was so much crap in this vehicle. I could not even see through right here in this section. There was just so much stuff. So I wasn't really able to look over my shoulder and completely know if the lanes were clear. So we totally relied on these cameras here. This literally saved our trip. Otherwise, Mama would have been stuck in the slow lane for I don't know, 9 hours because I would be afraid to change lanes. And while we're up at the front of the vehicle, I'm gonna talk about the second thing I love about the EV6. And this is something, honestly, I didn't expect to be a big deal. I didn't think this would matter that much to me. However, I really come to love this. Okay, don't laugh at me here because it's such a minor thing. But do you see this curved display here? It's a very slight curve. It just has a small arc in it. I don't even know if you can fully see it through the camera there. But that alone is a huge thing that I love. Now, hear me out. Coming from the Ioniq 5, which, hello, that is so similar to the Kia EV6. I mean, they share the same technology, battery platform. There are so many similarities. The Ioniq 5 had the same dual screens here, but the Ioniq 5, their screen was completely flat, right across the board. Think of it as two really small TV screens that you probably have in your house. That was the Ioniq 5. And when we drove that vehicle, I didn't think twice about the screens. I thought they were fine. But coming from that to the EV6 where it has this little curve here, it just adds so much more of an experience to me as a driver. I think it looks sportier. It kind of plays into the athleticism of the vehicle. This minor curve, again, it just adds to like the sportiness of the vehicle. And I'm not sure, I was kind of thinking like, why do I like it so much? Does it remind me of something? Okay, take a look here. Curves, 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 curves. It reminds me of myself. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But really, it does add to like a more dynamic driving experience. So I really come to appreciate this. And since we are up here, I'll share with you just a few other minor little things that I really love about the EV6. Again, things I really didn't think would be a huge deal. But again, coming from the Ioniq 5, I've actually come to really appreciate these. This one I wasn't really going to show you, but since we're here, let's talk about it. The first thing being, okay, and don't judge me people, I'm a mama. We have a lot of stuff up here in our cars, but the first thing is kind of, and I don't know what to call it, this catch-all right here. Do you see right here this little like bucket system? This carries everything for us. Lots of empty water bottles, as you can see at the moment, but it's kind of better that they're in this bucket instead of just like rolling around in the back seat, right? Otherwise that's where they'd be. And this bucket down here is just kind of built into the whole console area. So this looks like your normal console that you would kind of have in a vehicle. It's got a little insert there where you can store things up top. But below this bucket, again, it is genius. Now, I say that because we did come from the Ioniq 5 where there was no bucket. It was just kind of like the floor. So if you put maybe like your purse or fast food or a water bottle, it was gonna roll around and it could roll into the driver's area. Maybe something could get stuck under the pedals. For me, I thought that was kind of a safety hazard. So for me, coming from a floor where things could just roll around loosey-goosey, this is a huge deal. I really like this a lot. I thought I was gonna store my purse in there, but again, it's just kind of become a lot of junk. Again, water bottles, we've got Scotch tape, I've got potato chips. This was J3's snack at the beach he did not finish. Now the other thing I really like, and I'm not gonna say I love it, but I do like it. I like how minimalistic this display is here. Now again, this was kind of something that was a little bit polarizing at first because when you hit this button, you can change between like operating the music, maybe the volume, and then your navigation. If you touch it again, you can operate and control your climate controls here. So really neat. I like that it is minimalistic. It really takes away a lot of unnecessary buttons that could have been there. And personally, I like this because I keep it in climate mode usually, and I just control my music from these buttons right here, and I've usually got it plugged into like Apple Carplay. So normally it works out well for me, but hold that thought because we're gonna talk about Apple Carplay again in a hot minute. We're gonna circle back to that. But before we move on to things that kind of annoy us, let me finish off with a few other things I love. So let's head to the back. And while we are working our way to the back of the vehicle, I have to talk about how much space is in this vehicle. People, there is so much legroom. Okay, I'm gonna put my seat in my normal driving position here and check out how much space is in the back. Now this has kind of become our beach car for the summer, so it is a hot mess, so don't judge me on that part. But look at how much space there is. This is crazy. So again, I just put the driver's seat where I normally sit. Look at how much space the people in the back have. So if I were driving you around, this is how much space you would have as a rear passenger. That is crazy. Maybe again because I'm really short. I'm 5'4", but people in the back, you guys could stretch out. It's nice to be able to put your legs out. Your feet fit pretty well underneath the front of the vehicle. And you can peep that there is extra space where you can stretch your toes out underneath. Also peep my cute little pedicure. And speaking from recent real world experience, we just had a family reunion. Our family from California flew in. All the people in Rhode Island got together. So we did a lot of like caravanning and little trips around the state. So people were really able to take advantage of all the space in the EV6. And I don't want to oversell the vehicle, but a lot of people were fighting to see who would be able to sit in the EV6 for the next road trip. So that kind of made me feel good. So again, lots of space, both in like the cabin area, but also in the trunk. But again, let's make our way back because we're gonna talk about charging. Now, something we do have to talk about, because Kia has been so excited about this, is the vehicle to load technology that it offers. Basically, that's when like your vehicle becomes a mobile generator. I'm talking it could power like electric grills. Maybe if you're camping, you can blow up your air mattress. I mean, I like blowing things, but I'm not gonna spend 8 hours blowing up an air mattress. You feel me? So that's really, really cool, and we'll have a future video showing that capability soon. And since we're still at the booty here, let's talk about something else that I love. And this comes with kind of a caveat or a little asterisk by it, because I love it, but there needs to be improvement. And I'm talking about charging. Now, Kia, I'm sure as you have heard, Kia is super proud of the fact that this baby can go from 10% to 80% in 18 minutes. People, that is a quick charge. That is like the Usain Bolt of like EVs. I mean, this thing is quick. I mean, just look at the numbers, people. This thing is built on 800-volt architecture. That puts it on par with like the Porsche Taycan. What? A Kia and a Porsche Taycan on the same level? That's bonkers, but it's true. That is crazy. So this thing, because it charges so quickly, I think that's another check in the box for what makes it such a great travel vehicle. I mean, ours is rated to go 274 miles. I mean, that's pretty far. And then we go and we can get a quick charge and we can continue on our way if we're on a road trip. That's really awesome. Okay, now that being said, I have never experienced 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. I have not. And to do that, I think the stars really have to align. It is tricky for that to actually happen. I mean, yes, on paper, it might be able to happen and it sounds really good. Realistically, people, not the case. So let's talk about those stars that have to come into alignment here. To get 10 to 80% in 18 minutes, and I know I keep saying that over and over because that's so fast, but again, I would love to see that myself. But first things first, the first star, you have to find a 350 kilowatt charger. Second thing, your ambient temperature has to be pretty warm. You're not gonna be hitting those numbers in winter. No ma'am. And the third thing here, which is probably one of the biggest things, is that the battery has to be warmed. And I think one of the biggest boo-boos Kia made here is the fact that this vehicle does not precondition the battery. What? Why, Kia? Why would you not make a vehicle that preconditions the battery? That is crazy. Quick comparison, my Tesla Model Y. We just went to New Hampshire on our family reunion. Along the way, it knew I had to stop and charge. When those superchargers were close to us, the battery, well, not like the superchargers came closest. When we got close to the superchargers, the battery preconditioned. And why does it do that? Because it's gonna accept those electrons a lot quicker. We're gonna be able to receive a higher rate of charge from that charger. We're gonna hit those charging speeds a whole lot faster. Now, I have seen the EV6, I think I've seen it hit 232 kilowatts, which is super fast. Like, that is blazing fast. I'm not knocking it. But in our Tesla, at a supercharger, at a 250 kilowatt supercharger, I have seen it hit 252 kilowatts. That's crazy. But why was it able to do that? Because it preconditions. So I don't know why Kia didn't do this. I mean, we condition things. I condition my hair in the shower. Sometimes I even precondition my hair. Like if my ends are a little bit dry, I will put conditioner on, so I'll precondition before I put the shampoo in. I know it sounds weird, but there's logic to that. Okay, so why would we not precondition the batteries of our vehicle? Everyone wants to get places faster. Preconditioning is gonna help do that. So that's my caveat there. I love how quickly it charges. However, it could do it a little bit more efficiently. Let's segue into driver profiles, because this vehicle comes with driver's profiles, like a lot of vehicles do, right? However, with the EV6, the driver profile is not what you think it is. Now, logically, I would think when I got in with my key fob, the vehicle's gonna remember my driver profile. I would think it's gonna put my seat in my position. Maybe it would save the drive mode I'm in, or my brake setting, my regenerative brake setting, because I like to drive an iPedal all the time. But au contraire, my friend, it does not do any of that. In fact, I'm not even sure what the driver profiles do, and I've just pulled them up here. I'm driver 2, my husband is there. We have a guest profile. I'm assuming maybe the driver's profile just save radio stations, I'm guessing, because it doesn't save your seat positions. Like to do that, you just have to adjust here and here. But it also does not save what drive mode you want to be in, but most importantly, it does not save your level of regenerative braking. Now here's my issue with that. it automatically defaults here. You can see if you are going to get in the vehicle and turn it on, it's gonna default to level 3. Now my husband and I, we always like to drive in iPedal, so we are always adjusting it here to max. You can see iPedal is on, but every single time we turn the vehicle off and turn it back on, it's gonna default to level 3. Now I feel like this is my vehicle, it should save my settings. That would be logical, right? So I do wish the driver's profile would save my preferences, which again is something I think it should do, but it should also save like the drive mode that I like. For example, my husband, he likes to drive in sport mode. Every time he gets in the vehicle, if he saves this as his setting, it should just automatically cut to that. For me, I like to save the planet, so I like to drive usually in eco mode. When I get in the vehicle, it should automatically cut to that too. Just leave me in eco mode with iPedal on. That's all I'm asking. If I have to, I will adjust the seat myself. I will push that button. Now, this isn't a deal breaker for the car by any means, because again, we simply just press the paddle to adjust the regenerative braking. But again, it is something that I feel like you shouldn't have to do at this point in life. And Kia could fix that with a simple over-the-air software update. Truthfully, being realistic, because as Iggy Azalea says, first things first, I'm a realist. I don't see Kia doing that over-the-air software update. I don't think they're like super proactive about those as of right now. So I don't see that driver profile ever getting fixed while I own this EV6. But maybe down the road, maybe in their future EVs, again, they might be a little bit more proactive about that. And continuing down our list of improvements, I know some of you guys might be waiting for me to say this, but let's talk about this, the frunk. Now, Hyundai, pick whichever one you like, they just released pictures of their Ioniq 6, and the frunk is looking a little bit better here. Now, I think Kia, they're probably gonna have like their next vehicle coming out soon, releasing some pictures of it. Hopefully they've paid more attention to the frunk, because again, I've showed you this, but I'm gonna show you again. This frunk here, people, it looks like it was a little bit of an afterthought. Now, technically, is the frunk there? Yes. However, look at how tiny it is. There is not much room for much of anything. We have a tiny compact hose in there. We have our extra license plate and then a little adapter. But this is it. This is the frunk. This is not really big enough to store much of anything. For example, people, I have with me my Selma medium size Michael Kors purse. Let's take a look here for size reference. That not gonna close. Nope, do you see that? That not gonna work. It can't even hold a purse. However, it could probably hold a small bottle of water. That is it. Okay, now some of you guys are thinking, Shan, frunks are not that big of a deal. No one really needs a frunk if you have a trunk. Okay, now for those of you who say that, I'm gonna guess that you might be coming from vehicles that don't have a frunk. I love a frunk. We like to get frunky in our house. And personally, we use our frunk all the dang time. So with the frunk, why would you not want to take advantage of that space? Whenever we travel, we fit a medium-sized suitcase in our Tesla Model Y. We put a case of water in there, extra charging cables, whatever we might need. Now, hopefully Kia can like revolutionize their whole like electric motor here. I mean, if you think about it, Ford did that, and that is a full-size truck. You could literally live in their frunk, it's so big. Rivian, they're gonna have a full-size trunk. I've seen it, I know it, I literally sat in it. You could literally take a bubble bath in the Rivian frunk. So why has Kia not done this? It seems like maybe this frunk was a little bit of an afterthought to me. That's just my PO, my personal opinion. Actually, this whole video is my personal opinion. So just take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes I do get a little salty. But hopefully we can see some more space up here in the future. And some of you might even be thinking, well, the Lightning and the Rivian, those are full-size electric trucks. So of course they're made with more space in mind. And this is kind of more of like a crossover vehicle. I just really think that the way EVs are going, I mean, they're kind of becoming synonymous with the word frunk. I think that we can really if we search hard enough, people, I think we can make the space. So hopefully that'll be an improvement for the future. Again, like I said earlier, not a deal breaker, but definitely something on the wish list. All right, now I'm really gonna break it down for you. My #1 pet peeve about the EV6, and let me explain here, has to do with the emergency brake. Now, it sounds really great, right? If you reverse and the vehicle sees an obstacle, it's gonna slam on the emergency brake. And when I say slam on the emergency brake, literally it is going to slam. Like, you are gonna get a little bit of whiplash, a little bit of jarring. It brakes instantaneously. But there is something happening with the sensors on this car and the emergency brake. And I don't know what it is, but the way we park, sometimes we'll have the Tesla in the driveway and then I'll reverse the EV6 in like right in front of it. Something is happening with the sensors. Maybe it's sensing like the Tesla Model Y is an obstacle. I could be pulling in, I'm still maybe like 12 feet away from even the bumper of the Tesla Model Y. And something is happening where this vehicle is sensing an obstacle and it is gonna slam on the brakes every single time I reverse into my driveway. I don't know why that is happening. There is plenty of room. There is no obstacle in the way. I don't know if the EV6 just doesn't like red light district. Maybe at night when I'm sleeping, maybe they're trash talking each other and the EV6 just has it out for the Model Y. But for some reason, again, the EV6, it is slamming on the brakes every single time I reverse into my driveway when the Model Y is there. So that again, it's an issue. Now I have gone into like the driver profiles here. I've gone into the settings. I've turned off that feature. However, every single time I turn the vehicle off and turn it back on, it resets and that emergency brake feature is still on. So it is really, really frustrating. And it's a little bit scary at first because like you're backing up, you don't see anything in your rear view cameras. There's no obstacle there, but all of a sudden the car slamming on the brakes for you. And just thinking about it even a little bit deeper, I don't think it's like radar that's interfering. I mean, when the EV6 is pulling back and the Tesla Model Y is there, I don't know if it's like picking up on the ultrasonic sensors or the other cameras, or if the EV6 is just tripping, or if the Model Y is making it trip out. My personal conclusion again is that maybe the EV6 just literally has it out for the Model Y, because I don't know why it's doing that. So if you have any idea why that's happening, maybe you know science or technology a little bit better than me, please explain it in the comments below. Slide into my DMs. Let me know what's happening, because literally the only thing I am coming to the conclusion of right now is that there's a soap opera happening between my two vehicles that I don't know about. So I know I said that was gonna be the last one. Actually, I have another one for you. And I know you're thinking like, Shan, why the outfit change? That's because I thought I had mentioned everything and I started editing the video and then I realized I forgot to talk about Apple Carplay. So I came out the next day, which is today, and now let's talk about this. But before we talk about Apple CarPlay, let's actually pause, take a moment, and thank Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, because without Apple and Android like letting other manufacturers utilize their services, we would be stuck with the OEM software. And I don't care if you're driving a Mercedes, a BMW, or a Kia, but the OEM software, it really sucks. I don't know how else to say it. It's just not great. Unless it's Tesla. Tesla is the only exception. I actually really like their UI. I think the tech is really superior. Everything about it is pretty user-friendly and it works. Now when it comes to other auto manufacturers, we have to rely on those services like Apple CarPlay. And let me talk about that. All right, so, okay, and I also have to mention, this car has wireless charging right here. However, for Apple CarPlay, it has to be plugged in. This is not my biggest gripe. I just don't know why we have to plug in if charging is wireless. That just does not make sense to me. It's 2022, but here we are. My biggest issue, and I mentioned this in a few videos ago, I mentioned a while back when I was utilizing Apple CarPlay, it seemed like maybe every other drive Apple CarPlay would crash on me. Do you remember me saying that to you? So the car went into the shop, we got everything serviced, we had a software update, which I had hoped was gonna fix Apple CarPlay and prevent it from crashing. However, after getting the car back, Apple CarPlay is now crashing kind of at least once on every trip I'm taking. I don't know why this is happening. We took our vehicle in with a minor problem and I feel like we got it back with more of a major problem. So now when I'm driving and maybe I'm using Apple CarPlay for maps or even just music and then Apple CarPlay crashes, kind of my solution is to go down here and you can see I have to unplug the cable, re-plug it back in, wait for the system to kind of like boot up again. You'll see it says like reading USB. So it will eventually connect again. Sometimes but then it could crash again, and that's happened a few times. Again, I've changed the cables out, I've changed the phones out, I've tried them on multiple different devices. So my conclusion is that I don't think it's any of my hardware. I think it could be the hardware, maybe the USB connector, or even the software that's in the vehicle. Either way, it's not working. So my recommendation to Kia would be to please fix Apple CarPlay. I just want the vehicle to work properly. I don't think that should be too much to ask. But hopefully they can get that figured out. Again, nothing against Kia personally, I just don't love the software the car comes with. Apple CarPlay has really got it down pretty well. I just like to keep using that. Alright, so that was the last thing I wanted to note today. Now I'm going to cut back to the video I finished yesterday. Well, that is it. Those are the things that I have come so far to love about the EV6, and a few minor things that could use a little bit of improvement on. And I'm not trying to dog the EV6 out by any means. I mean, truthfully, this has really been one of our favorite vehicles that we have owned so far. This has been really, really awesome. And if there's anything that I have missed, be sure you also drop that in the comments below, and definitely hit that subscribe button and drop us a thumbs up. You definitely want to subscribe so you can see me fix that little door dink on the side, and you don't want to miss out on future videos. And that thumbs up just shows us you like this video. Well, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.